Hi students, and welcome to today's live Ielts class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a great weekend so far, staying strong, staying healthy, and being productive. Welcome Ali, hi Janil, welcome members. This is a members chat class. Everybody is welcome to watch. And in this class, we are going to be answering some of our members' questions about the Ielts exam, about the English language, what steps a person must take to reach that Band 9 expert user level of the English language. While we wait for a few more members to join in on the class, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com, as well as generalieltshelp.com or gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of answers to your questions. We have lots of resources, original practice exams, lesson videos with strategies and tips to get those high band scores, as well as a fully interactive course. This is our Academic Ielts website here at aehelp.com. You can click that big red button to join our premium package. We are an official Ielts test registration center and certified agents. You can try the course for free by clicking the green button. And if you're a general Ielts student, go to gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. You can click this big red button to join us there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. It doesn't cost very much, and it's absolutely worth your time and effort if you're going to sit the Ielts exam. You can also get our apps, Academic Ielts Help and General Ielts Help, from your app store. Link those apps to their respected websites, and you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIeltsHelp. And you can ask me a question. Send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. All right, now we've got more members in the class. Good day, Pavan, Paulo, Deepika, Manideep Gode, June, Pawan. Again, yep, good to see everyone. I'm doing good, thank you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. All right, everyone. So right now we have questions and answers, members. So this means that you get a chance to ask me any question that you have about the English language or the Ielts exam, the general version, the paper-based, the computer-based. And I will do my best, of course, to answer. If I can't, then we'll take another step to figure out what to do. And a little bit later, we will have speaking part 3 that will be available to everyone, okay, to chat. So in this class, the questions are first come, first serve. So whoever asks me the first question will get the first answer. And if I see that some of your questions are related to each other, of course, I will try to make some connections between or among them. So go ahead, members, ask me your questions. And like I say, I'll do my best to answer those questions. We do have a full week next week of classes. This schedule will be up on our community board. All right, let's take a look at some questions. I'm sure some students have some inquiries that they'd like to know. All right. Let's see. So Paulo is asking, Adrian, is there a study plan that takes into consideration all videos of the premium package? Started to work on it, and I saw just a few videos in the study plan. Paulo, that's a really good question, okay? So the study plan was created a while ago, and I'm sure we will create a newer version of the study plan. So the study plan, the 30-day and 60-day study plan, do not include all of the videos. I'm going to show you what Paulo is asking me about here. So in your My Student account on the website. It's a good question, Paulo, and I'll give you a good answer to that, okay? So you have something called Ielts exams, workbooks, study plans on the website, and then you can download the exams and you can download the workbook, and then you can download a 30-day study plan and a 60-day study plan. So let's see if I can do that for us right now. So here is the 30-day study plan. And the way the 30-day study plan works is it tells you what you should do on day 1, what you should study from the interactive course, what you should do from your student workbook, and then a video suggestion that you should look at Key Strategies Part 1 video. So what that basically means, I should have opened that in a new tab. Oh well. So what that basically means is it's telling you that on day 1 in your lesson videos, you should check out this video here, which is Key Strategies 1. It's 35 minutes long. So there's nothing, Paulo, that will tell you when to look at all of our videos, because as those of you who have access to our premium course know, there are lots of videos, especially when you get into the writing and the speaking video lessons. In the speaking video lessons, there are over 50 interviews now. But Paulo, we will, I'm sure, update the lesson study plan. And I'm sure that we will actually create a longer one, like a 120-day study plan, because to see all of these videos, you could literally be watching like 3-4 hours of video every day for like 50 days. So yeah. All right. Pavan is asking, this study plan, is it paid or is it free? Pavan, the study plan is free, so you can see it in the free version of the course. But all of the materials that are in the study plan, not all of them, but much or many of them, you can only get in the premium package. Okay. Hi, Carolina. Welcome to our moderator. Okay, so thanks for that question, Paulo. For general IELTS, it's the same idea as for the academic. So some of the videos will be in the study plan. Some of them will not be in the study plan. Okay. All right. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question for now, Paulo, but it's a good question, and it's good because it pushes us to update those study plans, Paulo. So yeah, we'll take a look at those later, okay? And look at updating. As long as you complete what's on the current study plan in the 30 to 60 days, you're definitely on the right track, Paulo, okay? All right. Ali says, sir, my full name is just Hatim. What should I say in speaking part 1? Okay, Ali, do you mean like if the examiner asks, so yeah, and I know some people have only one name, like the examiner is asking, what is your full name? Right? And then Ali is saying, so I'm guessing that Ali is not in your name. It's just kind of added. So your name in your passport is just Hatim. Is that correct? So am I assuming correctly here, Hatim, that in your passport, all you have is just Hatim, right? Okay, guessing. So you can say something like this. It's a good question, and I know some people have just a single name in their passport. Okay, all right, so Ali says, yes, in my passport, it just says Hatim. Okay, fair enough. So I would say something like this, Hatim. So my full name is simply Hatim. I have not adopted a different surname. So please just call me Hatim. Okay. So I would say this, Hatim, if I were you, because it is quite unique and some examiners might be a little bit surprised. Yeah, so I would definitely be very clear, and I would say something like, my full name is simply Hatim, as you will see in my passport. I have not adopted a different surname. Or even instead of different, I would say an additional. Okay? So, and you can practice this, Hatim, while we say this, okay? So, my full name is simply Hatim, as you will see in my passport. I have not adopted an additional surname, so please just call me Hatim. Okay? That will work, all right? Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you liked that response, Hatim. Yeah, it's nice and polite. It's very clear. Write it down, practice it. It's a good way to express that you have the one name, okay? And that will be very clear then for the examiner. Yeah, I have seen people with a single name. Yeah, and it was common in many parts of the world. In Japan, surnames only came into the picture for most people in the, I think, 20th century. So there's definitely places like that in the world where first names or single names were common. All right. Okay. And Pawan says, Hatim was my favorite cereal in my childhood. Okay, I guess there's even a cereal named Hatim. All right, let's take a look. So this is, again, it's a good chance for our members to ask questions like this so I can give you clarity on these ambiguous thoughts that you're curious about, okay? Okay, Abin Sam is asking, can I add examples in speaking part A or speaking part 1, right, Abin? Excuse me. Had a big sneeze coming on. Okay, so yes, absolutely. Okay. So the next question is, should I add examples in speaking part 1? Yeah, you definitely should. Okay. So speaking part 1 is about you. You must add some clear, smooth examples to get a high band score. I sat the official Ielts exam in February incognito, which means the examiner did not know that I was an Ielts expert. And I did exactly that. So in part 1, I answered the question and then I gave a smooth example. Okay. And I got a band 9 in the speaking, so that went really well. Definitely that's a good strategy. So in part 1, you should answer, explain, example. So, for example, if the question, Abin, is what is your favorite sport? Just going to keep it simple here. And while I'm showing you this, students, you can, practice by repeating. So, my favorite sport is football. Okay, so first is my answer, Abin. I'm going to break this down really simply for everybody watching right now. So my favorite sport is football. This is my answer. Okay, and then right away I give an explanation why it's my favorite sport. So my favorite sport is football. Why is it my favorite sport? I like it because I not only get a really good cardio workout every time I play, but I also get to socialize with my friends. Okay. All right. So first of all, I answer it. I use the question. Okay. My favorite sport is football. Right away, I go into my explanation of why it's my favorite sport. I like it. Notice how I emphasize again my favorite by saying I like it. I like it because I not only get a really good cardio workout every time I play, but I also get to socialize with my friends. So I get a really good cardio. Cardio is your heart. Okay, heart workout, cardio workout, and I get to socialize with my friends. And then I throw in a smooth example. So I don't say for example, okay? I avoid saying for example, all right? Last weekend, I played a really good game where I scored, or when I scored, where is okay to, 2 goals. Okay, so here's my smooth example, and I just go right into it. It's clear that it's an example because it's connected to my answer and explanation directly. Okay, so this would be your Band 9 answer. The question is, what is your favorite sport? My favorite sport is football. I like it because I not only get a really good cardio workout every time I play, but I also get to socialize with my friends. Last weekend, I played a really good game when I scored 2 goals. Okay, I changed that to when because I started with a leading expression of time last weekend. Okay, hope that makes sense. All right, so Abin, that's the kind of example that you want to add in part 1. Okay, does that make sense, Abin? So answer, explain, and then finally you want to give an example. And I should make this a little bit clearer. So example, explanation, following, and then here we have our answer at the beginning. Okay? All right. So that's what you want to do, and you want to do that quite often. So sometimes students, Abin, will ask me, well, should I do that for every question? 70%. So if you get 5 questions, for at least 3 of them, 3 to 4, you should be thinking about the example as well. Okay? All right. So let's see some more questions. It's nice to see many new members joining in to this Q&A session as well. I'm really happy about that because this is for you, okay? It's part of one of the perks of your membership that you get to directly ask me about these questions. Okay, June's question, June is saying, I've noticed that in most of your writing task to agree or disagree, you tend to support one side completely rather than just sitting somewhere in the middle. Is this because it is easier for the argument? Very good question, June. No, not necessarily because it's easier, but simply because it's better. Okay, so there's an idiom that I will teach you as well with this, June. It's called sitting on the fence. Okay. So basically what June is asking is, in task 2, questions, where the question is asking you, do you agree or disagree? Is it better to sit on the fence and discuss both? Or is it better to sit on one side and give more supporting reasons? So I'm basically translating your question a little bit, or interpreting your question a little bit differently, June. So the question you're asking me, is it better to sit on the fence? Sit on the fence means to be like neutral, like saying I both agree and disagree, right? So this would be option 1. And option 2 would be something like, I strongly agree because of A and B. Okay, so the two ways that you could approach an essay that's asking you about agree or disagree is to approach it as I both agree and disagree, one paragraph about agreeing, one paragraph about why you disagree. And then the second one would be strongly agreeing because of opinion A and opinion B. Okay, now here, what you really have to pay attention to, June, is this word or. Okay? Or is suggesting that it's a better idea to probably either agree or disagree, but not both. Okay? So, let me give you an example here. Some people say that watching television is bad for children. Okay. So some people say that watching television is bad for children. Do you agree or disagree? So I could have two thesis statements. In thesis statement A, I could say I both agree and disagree because television can be educational, but it can also be disruptive. Okay, so this would be an agree and disagree. Okay, now here's an alternate. I agree with this statement because television has poor content and it is antisocial behavior. Let's go with negative information. Okay. So here are two options, June, and I'm going to really clearly explain this for everybody because understanding this clearly will not only help you in your Ielts exam, but it will actually also help you in college and university. College and university, of course, are filled with these persuasive essays like task 2 in the Ielts. Okay, so that means arguing a position or making a statement. Okay, so yeah, sure, we could do either of these. So we could write I both agree and disagree because television can be educational, but it can also be disruptive. Okay, and then B says I agree with this statement because watching television has negative information and it is antisocial behavior. Okay. So think about it this way. So now you're still probably wondering, well, which one of these is better, right? Okay, so I'm digressing into this answer a bit because it's an important one. Okay, well, think about it this way, okay? If you're a parent, for example, which one of these essays, if you read these essays or articles in a newspaper or in a magazine, which one of these would actually help you to make a better decision to let or not let your kids watch TV? I'm curious what you're going to answer about this. Okay. So what do you think? Okay. Which one of these two?
will help you make a better decision as a parent.
What do you think? If you read both of these. Okay. Janiel says A. Let's see what other students think. Is it A or B? Deborah says B. Okay. Atem says B. Yeah. So 50-50 so far. Sammy says B. Pavan says B. Yeah, so June is kind of jumping the gun, and June says, yeah, readers wouldn't really like neutral positions. Yeah, because it makes them indecisive, right? So reading A would kind of be like, okay, so I should let them watch TV, but I should only let them watch educational content. But is that possible? So I think a parent could get value from A, but it wouldn't be confident value. So they wouldn't be really confident like, oh, okay, I'm going to let them watch educational content and then I'll supervise to make sure that it's only educational content. And, oh yeah, there's commercials even in educational content. So how do I get them to avoid commercials? So definitely B would be very strongly suggesting, well, don't let them watch TV, find some other medium. Get them watching educational content on Netflix or the internet without advertising, right? So B would help to make a clear decision. So choice B would provide a more confident and clear decision for the parents. Okay. So when the question in task 2 is asking you, do you agree or disagree, it's usually, not always, but usually better to choose one side and then give 2 strong supporting points so that your reader, your audience gets value. Now, you'll find, June, that when you're in university, you definitely do not want to write neutral position essays, because if you do that in university and college, you will get a very low mark, and oftentimes the professor will even ask you to rewrite the essay and take a position. Okay? So in universities, in colleges, just keep this in mind. Professors, I don't want to say do not like, I usually don't like using this word, but it fits it here, hate essays that take a neutral position and will often ask the student to rewrite the essay with one position. Okay. So yeah, everything is subjective, everything has 2 sides, but ironically, we are always looking for a position because that's what gives it utility or usefulness, okay? Now, be careful if the essay asks you, so be careful. When Ielts task 2 asks, discuss both the advantages and disadvantages, then you must discuss both. Okay, so really pay attention to the details of the question, all right? But if it's asking you if you agree or disagree, you do not have to both agree and disagree. It usually will create a weaker essay, okay? All right. Good question, June. All right. Nick Hill joined back in. Welcome back, Nick Hill. Okay, let's see some more questions. So, where were we? Okay. Deepika is asking, tell me something about the paper-based Ielts. Okay, Deepika, that's a really broad question. Tell me something about the paper-based Ielts. I'm going to kind of summarize it in as simple as way as possible. So the paper-based IELTS, you have a question booklet and you have an answer booklet, okay? In your question booklet, you'll have the 4 parts of the listening section, you'll have the 3 parts of the reading section, and you'll have task 1, task 2 of the writing section. In your answer booklet, you will have the question spaces, where in the listening, you'll transfer your answers to that answer sheet after you're done. So you'll be putting your answers into the question booklet during the listening. Then you'll have 10 minutes to transfer the answers into the answer booklet. Okay. For the reading section, you simply just read from the question booklet and you put your answers into the answer booklet. And then for the writing task 1 and task 2, you'll see the questions in the question booklet and you'll see space provided in the answer booklet to write your answers. It's all done by hand. You can use paper or pen. You can have an eraser with you, okay? You can use all capitals for listening and for reading. You should not do that for the writing section, okay? So that's basically the paper-based exam in a nutshell. There will be an examiner proctor, a person who is giving you instructions throughout this exam. They will tell you what to do in the listening, what to do in the reading, what to do in the writing, just like in the computer-based exam. You should pick the paper-based exam, Deepika, if you are not able to touch type in English. Touch typing means that you can look at the screen and you can type, okay, without looking at your fingers. If you have to look at your fingers while you're typing, it's better to do the paper-based exam. If you can look at the screen while typing in English, then you should do the computer-based exam, because there are lots of advantages to typing instead of handwriting for the exam, okay? And one really, really good website to check out is what's called Rapid Typing, and I've shown this to members in the past, and I'm going to show it to you again. So you can download a piece of software called Rapid Typing. Okay, I believe it's just rapidtyping.com. Let me just check here. Yeah, so rapidtyping.com downloads. It's absolutely free. Okay, it looks like a really old school website, which is cool because it is. And it's absolutely free software. It was built a long time ago. It was built really well, and it's super helpful for learning English and for preparing for school and for the computer-based IELTS exam. Okay, touch typing in today's world is an extremely important skill. And here, let me just make a note of this, okay? To take the computer-based IELTS, you must be able to touch type in English. Use a free piece of software called Rapid Typing. It's www.rapidtyping.com. Okay. And you start with the basics, like your home row keys, which are A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L. So your home row keys. And then once you get comfortable with those, you get to write these longer, call your mom at least once a week and just tell her, Mom, I love you, period. You don't need a reason for this. Just do it, okay? So you touch type along. It will show you your mistakes, like I'm mistyping these apostrophes and quotation marks, so I should go back and correct those. All of the green ones are correct. You build up your touch typing speed, you learn vocabulary, you practice your writing. So you're really hitting a lot of birds with one stone, okay? I highly, highly recommend this piece of software for preparing for the computer-based exam. Use it every day, and it will really, really help you, okay? And it even tells you here what you should be doing at the bottom. Left thumb, space bar. That's my next step. So use my left thumb to hit the space bar. Okay, this is 100% free. We are not sponsored by them. It's just a really nice piece of free software to help you prepare. Okay, so use it. Okay, everybody clear on that? So rapidtyping.com. Download, use, have fun with it. It's basically ad-free as far as I can tell. I don't even know where they make money with this. I think somebody did this from the bottom of their heart to help humanity. So one of the most beautiful pieces of software I've ever seen over the years. Okay. All right. So that's kind of paper-based going into computer-based in a nutshell. Okay. All right. And it's fun. Rapid typing is fun. All right. So let's see what else we have for today. We'll take a few more questions. Okay. Okay, let me see where we were. All right. Paulo says, I'm taking the 60-day study plan for General Ielts. Okay. Yeah, so Mandeep Goad7 is saying, Sir, I can speak English fluently, but sometimes I get stuck. What should I do? Can you suggest any tips? Okay, Manideep, when you get stuck, why do you get stuck? Do you get stuck for ideas, you get stuck for words, or you get stuck for grammar? So first you have to identify why you're getting stuck. Okay, so the question here by Manideep is, I can speak English, but I get stuck at times. What should I do? Okay, it's hard to speak fluently without stopping and always coming up with the right idea and the right words and sentences to say. Everybody gets stuck, it's okay. The first thing is don't panic. It is okay to get stuck. Okay. So you should identify, let's do it this way. So you should identify why you are getting stuck. Are you stuck for ideas, words, or grammar? Why are you getting stuck? Okay. So once you identify that, you can work on it more specifically. Now, the second step, of course, is learn to buy time. Learn to buy time with natural fillers and paraphrasing. Well, what I mean to say by that is get some additional seconds to think about what you want to express by stating your ideas in a different way. See what I did there? I just bought a whole bunch of time. So I used some natural fillers like and I basically repeated my first sentence to paraphrase what you're wanting to say by expressing by using different words. So I literally bought myself a ton of time. In fact, I'm still doing it. The last 30, 40 seconds I've been speaking, I have just repeated the same concept 3 times by paraphrasing my thoughts, okay? So you can buy a lot of time doing this, okay? And while you do that, you can think of what you want to say next. When you're a teacher like me, you really master this concept so that you can say the right ideas at the right time, okay? So learn to buy time with natural fillers and paraphrasing when you're stuck so that you can come up with the right ideas, okay? All right. And third, very important, is visualize. See the information in a real context. Think critically. What am I saying? Why am I saying it? What is an example for it? Okay. And then last but not least, what would most people say? What are popular responses? Okay. So go through this checklist when you're stuck for ideas. Every time you get stuck, when you're practicing, you're speaking for the Ielts, go through this checklist and focus on the strategies that help you the most and then use those strategies, okay? These strategies are for everyone. Politicians use them, lawyers use them, public speakers use them, okay? So go through them, all right? All right, Many Deep, there you go. Great. Okay, let's take one more question. Okay, this is more of a statement. Jainil is saying, I've got an overall band 6.5, reading 7.5. That's very good, Jainil. Writing and speaking 6. Those should be better for you, so keep working on them. But it's ironic that I only got 5.5 in listening. Yeah, that is kind of strange, Jainil. It's very rare that I see a student who has the lowest mark in listening. So that's definitely strange. Were you a little bit nervous? Did you get distracted? You should really kind of reassess what happened there. Because like I say, it is fairly rare that I see a student get the lowest mark in listening. All right, and I'm glad that I'm here to help you, Jainil. So keep going forward, keep practicing your listening. I definitely think you can do better. Reading 7.5, that's a huge difference from your listening skills, both of them being a measure of comprehension. So yeah, keep going, okay? All right. All right, we'll take one more question here. Spandana is saying, Adrian, can you tell about the spacing in the listening section? For instance, if the answer is 2 years and the heading said no more than a word, will that be considered 1 or 2 words? Spandana, the question usually says no more than 2 words and or a number. So 2 years would be considered the number and the word. So that's 2. Yeah, so if it says no more than 2, it means you have 2 elements. If it says no more than 1, it means you have 1 element. That could be either a word or a number. If it says no more than 3, then you have maximum 3 elements, and every word you put down matters. So if you use articles like a or the or an, that will be counted as a word as well, okay? Yeah, if you use the hyphen, it's 1 word, but be really careful. It's very unlikely that you will actually see a hyphenated word as the answer in the IELTS exam. So what Spandana is asking there is, let's say, for example, the correct answer would be something like real world with a hyphen. Okay. So this would be 2 words. So when you use a hyphen, it does link and make 1 word. Okay. So this would be considered 2 words, real world as 1 word, and then ideas. So real world ideas. This is 2 words, but honestly, I have maybe seen a hyphenated answer in IELTS once or twice. In all my years of teaching. So they usually avoid that because that's very tricky even for native speakers
to know when the word should be hyphenated like this, okay? So IELTS isn't that cruel, so it's not likely that you're going to see that. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It's unlikely, okay? All right, good questions, everyone. I'm going to stop there for today. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating today's class. We do have one more class coming up in about 35 minutes that will be speaking part 3. We had lots of good questions from our members. We have this Q&A class once every couple of weeks. And if I missed your question, you can always send me your question to adrian@aehelp.com. Either myself or one of my colleagues will get back with an answer in due time, okay? And you will find lots of answers to your questions on our websites at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. So be sure to check us out there. Join the premium courses. Again, you can do that by clicking these big red buttons at gieltshelp.com and the same idea at aehelp.com. You can click the big red buttons there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Well worth it. Hopefully, members, you will stick around for the next class, which will be speaking part 3 practice, okay? So I will be back for that shortly. Good questions, members. Thank you for your support, and hopefully I'll see you soon. I'm Adrian signing out for now, but I'll be back. Bye.